Hey everybody. Well, season's over. Unfortunate way to go out. Shot down in flames, as AC/DC might put it. Of course, the season's been over for some time now, but, I'm just getting on with this video because, I am pretty much at school all day these days, so, I'm busy, but I haven't forgotten about this. I have fun on here. I talk about the thing I love, and, I meet these people, and, you guys, you listen to me, and, the main reason I do this is because of you people who do listen to what I have to say. So, thank you for taking the time to listen to this because, I don't have high production values. I don't do really crazy stuff. I don't even go as far as like Big Daddy Caesar with what he does. He puts a more creativity into his videos than me, and most of these people do really, but that's not what I'm here for, and I'm just glad all you guys can appreciate that. Anyway, season came to a disappointing close Saturday. As I said in previous videos, I didn't expect to win. I was going in hopeful, but doubting it ultimately. I knew we had a good team. We do. We did make it this far. So I think that's something, especially, if you look at the talent pool on our team, it was pretty good, but it wasn't Super Bowl good. We weren't there. We just weren't up near the top where we needed to be. It just was never really there at any point throughout the season. Maybe we could have, lucked our way into a Super Bowl. Maybe we could have, pulled some upsets, but ultimately, this team just wasn't as good as the 2005 team, so sometimes it is what it is, and you just have to accept that. Anyway, coming into the game, I predicted a defensive struggle, so, laugh at me for that one, because it was not. Our offense, we got 2 early turnovers, and we were efficient, turned those 2 into 2 touchdowns, and up 14-0, and I was thinking, part of me thinks 14 points is going to be enough to win this game, because there are not a lot of points are not going to be scored because of the weather. It wouldn't surprise me if 14 points would win us this game, and then Green Bay put up 14 points in about, I blinked and they had 14 points up, and it was just pile on. We couldn't force a punt. Offensively, I felt we did some positive things. We were efficient, especially early in the game. We got some solid drives. We had to settle for field goals near the end, of course, a couple times, which does suck. But, especially given the way our defense played, which I'll get into in a second, I think our offense played all right, in a game, on the road against a good defense. I think our offense, it was up and down, but I think we were pretty efficient offensively. We did put up 20 points, off turnovers and such, but still. Defensively, we weren't ready to play. That's really all I got to say. There are a couple of mitigating factors. Playing on the road, that's by default going to make your team play worse, because that's just how football works. Home field advantage is just so huge in football for most teams. I'll probably get into that in a little bit. A great offense. Green Bay has this great offense. They got 5, 6, 8, 9 different players they can throw to at any one time. A couple tight ends, a couple of backs, 5 wide receivers. If they bring their game, you just can't stop them. They were prepared for the bad weather. We weren't. And that's a couple of things. We don't play in the snow. That's why you play to get home field advantage. That's why, we want to be able to get games in Quest Field. In Quest, we get our conditions, our crowd, and we can play with things to our advantage like that. And when we have to go on the road to places like Green Bay and, Foxborough, it's not fun for us. It's a long plane ride. We got to play in unfamiliar territory with unfamiliar weather. But, you guys know what I mean when I'm saying that, right? Defense, defensively, we didn't force a punt until it was too late. We had 2 early turnovers, which is great. We capitalized on those turnovers. That was golden, but then we just could not force a punt. And, like I said, that was for several different reasons. The weather, we didn't bring the proper equipment. At least that's what I hear. The cleats were not set up properly for the conditions, which is really something you should never have to think about. That's just really, really stupid on our part. That's, I don't want to sit here for the rest of the off season and think if we had worn the right shoes, things could have been different. But, I'm not going to say that because, it is what it is. And, as for the loss on a whole, we did get, by the end of the game, we were pretty effectively blown out. And, I was expecting a closer game. I was expecting a defensive battle, and that's not what we got. We got a big offensive shootout. Another reason, it just wasn't our day, and I got that impression. There were somewhere in between those 2 Greg Jennings catches where our guy had good coverage and Jennings just found the ball. And when Brett Favre managed to slingshot a ball when he was falling downwards for a first down to Bubba Franks or Donald Lee or something, somewhere in between there and there, I figured out, today's just not our day. Sometimes, whenever Green Bay needed to make a play, they found a way to make it. There was always an open guy. When we thought we had sacks, because we occasionally did get quarterback pressure, we didn't get enough. We didn't get enough of anything, but occasionally we got quarterback pressure. And even when we did, there was always a guy for Favre to find. Whenever he needed a play, someone was making it. And, obviously sometimes that does fall to us, but sometimes part of it is, it's not your day. You're not, it is what it is, like I say. So, good job, Green Bay. There are so many different reasons why we did lose this game. I think the most obvious one is we were outclassed. They're a better team. I don't think anybody's going to question that. They played better for almost the entire regular season. They had a better record. They looked more dominant offensively and at times defensively. They got the first round bye. They got the game at home. Sometimes you're just outclassed in a game and all you can do is go out and try your best, but it might not be enough because the other team's just better. And, there you go. We weren't prepared to play in those conditions. Our defense did not show up as a whole. We had a difficult time running the ball at some points. I remember some positive running plays, but there were also some negative ones, and we could not run the ball simply because we fell behind so fast. So I'm not going to take anything away from Green Bay. I could talk about shoes. I could talk about weather. I could talk about fate. I could talk about luck of the draw, but, there are so many different things that come together in any win, and, Green Bay, they went out there and outclassed us, so that's that. Good luck next week against New York. I am pulling for you guys from this point on. I don't play this spite game. And looking at the 4 teams left, Green Bay would be the ones I pull for. And, Seattle's out of it now, but I'm not done watching football because I love this game. And I still have things that I want to happen and things that I don't want to happen. So I'll continue to watch. It was a pretty good season for us. So I'm not, I'm taking it pretty well. I'm not devastated over the loss or nothing. For most of the part, I saw it coming. Like I keep saying, one of my favorite quotes is, "All in all is all we are." That's from All Apologies off In Utero, and it just means you are what you are, and there's no sense in trying to pretend you're something that you're not. And we weren't a Super Bowl quality team this year, so some people would say that we ultimately completely failed because of that, but I'm remembering the good times. I had fun this season. I had fun on here. We won 10 games. We won another playoff game. We won the division again. We were better than last year. I think any Seahawks fan would agree with me on that. This year was better than last year, so we improved. Our defense came along. It really came alive. The second half of the season, we struggled the first half, but the second half we came out with all guns blazing and had a great second half. And, again, good job, Green Bay. Good luck against New York next week. And as for the other 3 games, I'll get to that now. And I'll talk a bit about a few more things here.